Hello viewers, so you're trading stock indices, whether that be CFDs, futures, whatever instrument or whatever market that is around the world, and you're using Renko charts to trade those markets. The most important thing is to get the right block size by the strategy you're using, whether that be scalping, day trading, breakouts, swing trading, whatever it is, whatever market around the world. Like I said, critical to get the right block size. So I use a calculator to do that. I'm going to show you in this video how I use that to get the right block size. Also throw in some tips how you can quickly get the right block size as well for those stock indices. So let's get into it. Let's start by looking at the markets that I'm going to look at in this video example. We've got 8 of them here, so a good selection. I'm using TradingView to get the data, but this data is available in so many places and more often than not for free, so don't worry if you haven't got TradingView. What have we got? We got the S&P and NASDAQ from the US. We got the DAX, the German one, Japanese Nikkei, the Indian NIFTY, the UK FTSE, the Hong Kong 50, and finishing off there with the Australia 200. Now the important bits to take away from this information, if we concentrate on the S&P at the top there, are the price currently at 6,800, just over there, and the volatility. Now depending on your strategy that you're going to use, I like to smooth out the volatility. Now the indicator I've used here is just called HV. You can find that in the indicator section up at the top of TradingView. Historical volatility. Let me just click on that, and the inputs for it, I've set it to 10 days of historical volatility, and that yellow line you can see there is a moving average, and that's the 50 period simple moving average to smooth out volatility, because often you get these big spikes. But again, depending on your strategy, you might want the more current volatility inputs, and you can see the difference there between the smooth volatility around about 13.5–14% compared to nearly 20% which it's currently playing at. So the variables we want to take: price above there and this volatility information, whether it be the smoothed or the current. And then what we do is we then take that information over to our calculator. Now I built this calculator to make the process as systematic and as objective as possible, but still there is some subjectivity to it, as you could tell by the historical volatility inputs. But let's take the S&P again as our example. So we put in the price at the moment around about 6,800, and the volatility. Now this is the more subjective part. I normally like to take the moving average, and we saw it, the smooth 50 moving average, and we saw it's about 13.5, so we can put 13.5 in there. The important part then, once we put in our volatility, is this volatility range box. This gives it the calculation a variable that then scales it up according to the level of volatility of the market. For example, the S&P, very low volatility at the moment, 14%, whereas maybe another stock market 30–40% if you're looking at that. The two are going to behave quite differently, so we use this volatility range bucket to get the right volatility box for our Renko chart. So we've got 10 to 20, that's where the range it falls within. So as you can see, that then updates these block values down the bottom. We also can see there that it's calculated an expected daily move range for the S&P 500. So on any given day at the moment at those levels, we could be expecting $57 plus minus in either direction. So that can also help you when you're setting your stops. And again, according to your strategy, if it's longer term, you might want a multiple of that. If you're day trading, scalping, maybe a divisor of that. Let's just go back to the more current. Now, why would I change that from the smooth one? Well, maybe if I was scalping or day trading, I might look to use the more relevant current data, which we had at 20%, and it just about falls within that bucket there, but that will change those numbers along the bottom there. Now you could, again, it's down to your own interpretation and your own way of trading Renko and your strategy you're using, but you could maybe take a hybrid of the difference between the two. We were using 13.5 and nearly 20, so say maybe something around 16% to get your block sizes. But if you want to be as systematic as possible, like I said, use the 50 smoothing moving average. That's what I use. And then we come down to the important factor of block sizes. So I've created these buckets here. You can see fast, very fast, fast, medium, slow, very slow, and you could almost put your strategy type to these different buckets. So very fast, maybe scalping, day trading. Fast, still in the world of day trading. Medium, you're still maybe getting towards the longer holding periods for day trading to more swing trading, and then again slow, maybe swing trading, and then very slow you're in the world of maybe positional holding, where you're holding for multiple days. So you can see the numbers we've got with our example here. Let's take it back to 13.5 because that's the one I was using, and you can see if I was scalping, I would use a 1.09 that's dollars terms block size. So what does that actually mean in terms of numbers? Well, I'm actually going to round that to keep it simple. You don't need the 0.09. It's just going to make it messy when you put it on your charts. So I'm going to round that down to 1. So if I was day trading right now, scalping, I'll be using a $1 block size. Wanted to slow it down a bit, $2, and then you could do $4.50. You can, once you get slower, you can sort of use half for rounding. And then very slow, slow, you've got nearly 9.5, 10, and then very slow 14 to 15 sort of range. So that is how you calculate your block sizes. So let's just take another example, something with a different volatility structure. What you'll find is that once you've created your suite of block sizes, that very fast to very slow, stock indices aren't that volatile, forex even less volatile, and you'll find these numbers don't really change that much. So you can use these quite regularly over the longer term, but always tip here, update if there's been a regime change, sudden change in price direction, big move in the price. So make it part of your trading plan, update, or review at least weekly, monthly, and like I say, on any big news changes there. So what else could we look at? NASDAQ, that's probably the most volatile out of the 8 that we've seen, running about 27% volatility. Let's put that in. I think the price was 25,100. Around about there too. You can see in any given day going to move plus minus $400. The volatility range, we've always got to change the bucket because we're now in a higher bucket level, which gives us different factors for our block value. And now you can see we've got at the very fast end 8.5, fast nearly 18, medium 35.5, 36, slow 71, very slow 106, 107. So very important to factor in volatility. There's another tip for you there, because if you don't, you're going to be trading the wrong block sizes. You're going to get taken out of trades, or you're not going to get any trade signals whatsoever. So top tip, use volatility when you're setting your block sizes, whether that's historical volatility, ATR, same sort of thing. Use them. So that was the NASDAQ. Let's just jump over to the Indian Nifty. Very low volatility at the moment, about 8%. Price similar to the NASDAQ, 26,200, roughly around there. Again, we'll have to change the bucket size. It's less than 10. So if I was trading the Nifty right now, there's our range. You could call it 2, 2.5, 5, 9.5, 19 and 33. So there you go. That's my calculator, and I'm just going to show you how you can get your hands on that in a second. But the lessons to learn, if you don't want to use this calculator, are use volatility in your calculation or your block size relevant to the market that you are using. Like I said, that is the critical element to getting the block size right, and then it's getting it right by the right strategy. So is it, like I say, scalping? Is it swing trading? Is it positional holding? So some important factors there for you to get to your head round to then, like I say, get that right block size. So it's so easy to get Renko wrong if you don't use that right block size. If you want to get your hands on that exact calculator, it's available on my store now. It's only $6.99. There you click on there and you can go through the motions of checking it out. But it's also for free in a lot of the other packages. So if you wanted the say ebook of Renko Chart Trading Revolution, free in there. It's free with masterclasses, the mega bundle packages. So if you're serious about your Renko trading, check those out. Also, a lot of information available on the YouTube channel for calculating block sizes correctly, and also that book there, the Renko Chart Trading Revolution, whether hardback, paperback or ebook, we do go through all the different ways of calculating block sizes for you there. And like I said, the calculator, you see, is free on there, and we've got a sale on at the moment because it's Black Friday coming up. Expires the sale 1st December, Cyber Monday. So if you want to get into the calculator or any of the other products, they're there at an absolute fabulous discount at the moment. So there you go. If you're trading stock market indices, whether that's CFDs, futures, whatever, you now know how to calculate the Renko block size. A few tips thrown in there as well. Don't forget that Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, links in the description below for you to check out if you want to follow that up. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell notification buttons because plenty more content coming your way. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.